Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. All right. Welcome to I guess it's a weekend special of the Preston Sports Podcast. I wanted to make more podcasts because I find it enjoyable. So I figured, why not do a good old positional rankings? I only have the offenses ranked right now. Depending on how long it is when I get done with that, I'll just kind of freelance what I think defensive positions are. I know my opinions pretty well on it. I'm doing top 10 instead of top 5, so probably after 5 I'll get a little questionable. That's what I did. It took me a while to sit down and come up with all these because I don't really care past top 5, but it is important past top 5. So before we get started, like, subscribe. I hate asking you to do it, but you got to do it. I have to ask you to do it. It's part of the job. So getting right along, first up, of course, we have to do quarterbacks. And I don't think anyone will be surprised. And this isn't who I think will have the best 2021 season. This is right now on May 29th, who I think is the best. And I do have stars next to some of these where I'm kind of like, there's a little bit of bias. There's a little bit of questionable thought going into it. But I'll cross that road when we come to it. Number 1, obviously, Patrick Mahomes. Best quarterback in the league, most talented quarterback in the league, possibly most talented quarterback of all time. I actually just recently watched that Super Bowl against the Bucs back again. And nothing that went wrong was his fault. He had awful protection the entire time. And even though he was running for his life, I think he had about 500 yards rushing behind the line of scrimmage. So he ran for over 500 yards just behind the line of scrimmage, which is insane. He was getting the ball off accurately, hitting. So in the first quarter, he had that one to Tyree Kill that he should have caught. It hit him in the helmet. Later in the game, he had the one where he was completely vertical that hit his running back in the helmet. And then he had one where he was being spun by, I think it was Shaq Barrett. And he kind of somewhat behind his back threw it, and then it would have been an impossible catch. I think it was Byron Pringle who had to make the catch. He's not a top receiver, not anywhere near my top 10. But so Patrick Mahomes, great quarterback, lost the Super Bowl. I think he will have a really good 2021. I think we pissed off Patrick Mahomes, and I think that was not smart of us. But going along to number 2, we got A-Rod himself, Aaron Rodgers, not the baseball player. Aaron Rodgers, obviously pretty good at playing the sport we know as football, won the MVP last year at the age of 36 probably going to be 37 by the time the season starts. Very good football player, one of the more talented quarterbacks in the league, one of the more talented quarterbacks of all time. He makes a lot of really impressive throws, especially last year. It was like a revival of his career after a couple good years, but, not Aaron Rodgers' standard years, and he said so himself. Down years for him are career years for other quarterbacks. While he is right, his interception numbers were really low again. Touchdowns were very high. Yards were very high. Completion percentage was high. I really liked what I saw out of Aaron Rodgers last year, and that's why he is at number 2 for me. Number 3, we have Josh Allen. Josh Allen was very impressed. His rookie career, he was like, oh gosh, he was a first-round pick, and then his second year, he was like, okay, I could see him as a top 25 pick, and then this past season, we saw why they took him at, I think, number 7. Very talented arm, second strongest arm in the league besides Patrick Mahomes, and he got very accurate with that arm, and the addition of Stephon Diggs was great for the offense in general, but specifically for Josh Allen. Watching him play was super fun last year. They made it to the AFC Championship, and obviously they didn't win that game. But, the Bills had played great the entire season, so you can't really hold that one game against them. We're going to number 4. We got good old TB12 Tom Brady. The reason I don't have him higher is just because I still have questions about Tom Brady. 20 years into his career, 7 Super Bowl wins, and I'm still kind of like, well, how good is he really? I think he played really good in the Super Bowl. I think that he is a very good quarterback, but I also think that for, I saw just this morning, 90% of his career, he's had a top 5 or top 10 defense. And, that's football, and he plays very well. He takes pay cuts to get those top 5, top 10 defenses. And so it's just kind of like, I'm not going to have him top 3, but he's definitely more than deserving of being number 4. Then we go to number 5. Kind of questionable for me. I have Russell Wilson. I like Russell Wilson a lot. I think sometimes he takes unnecessary sacks, but he has done that a lot less in his career recently. Hasn't been given a great offensive line to work behind. Kind of had a squabble with Seattle earlier in the offseason about, him wanting to let Russ cook, but Pete Carroll wants to ground and pound the ball with Chris Carson. I'm pretty sure he's going to be back in Seattle this year. I heard reports that it is his last year his last contract in Seattle. But I like Russell Wilson a lot. Very mobile quarterback, kind of getting up there in age, so we'll see how much that continues. But I like the arm strength. I like the accuracy, especially from him. Kind of, he's like the best week 1 through 5 quarterback of all time. He's always MVP week 1 through 5. And then we kind of see him trickle out throughout the season. So hopefully they can get him a better defense. I know they started playing well later in the year, but get him a better defense to where Russ doesn't have to cook and throw for 5 touchdowns a game would be pretty awesome. I think in the first 2 weeks he had 10 touchdowns. I think he had 5 against, I think they played New England week 2 and Atlanta week 1. I think he had 5 touchdowns, which is in each game, which is insane. We go to number 6, Deshaun Watson. Question mark if he's going to play at all this season. No one knows. A lot of bad stuff alleged against him, and of course it is alleged. We don't know what's true. If it is true, shouldn't be playing in the league. If it isn't true, the women who are doing these things to him should be fined or jailed or whatever, because that's just not cool to allege something like that, especially when it's not true, if you just want money. But besides all the legal stuff, he's a very, very good quarterback. He doesn't have the strongest arm in the league, but he doesn't really need to. He has great mobility. He makes wonderful plays. I'm always reminded of the time he got kicked in the face and then threw a touchdown, which is absolutely insane. Kind of like Russell Wilson, he runs into a lot of unnecessary sacks. But, there's only so much. He's still kind of young. He just recently, just last offseason, he got his big contract extension. So hopefully, all the legal stuff comes back and we're good. He does want to leave Houston, so Eagles try to trade for him because Jalen Hurts ain't your guy. But, I love Deshaun Watson. I love watching him play. I think he's a very good quarterback. At number 7, we go to the man, Rayne Dakota Prescott. I think that I've gotten into a lot of conversations, especially with my uncle, about him. He thinks that Dak is the best fourth quarter quarterback of all time. And, he only gets those yards in garbage time, blah, blah, blah. And I say, there's a reason there's 4 quarters to a football game and not 3, I went to the Dallas-Cleveland game in week 4 this season, and I don't know if I've ever been more nervous during a third quarter in my entire life. Like, he is very good at football. More mobile than people give him credit for. I don't know how mobile he'll be this season after that injury. But, I would have him a little higher on the list, but I got to see him play for a couple games, see how that ankle's doing. I think people will give him a hard time just because the defense was so bad. I would like to see Dak get a defense that can put him on the field more, see what happens then. People forget he was on a historic rate the first 4 weeks of the season. I'm very excited to see him in 2021. Hopefully his defense can kind of help him out a little bit. Dan Quinn, I don't know why Dan Quinn was the DC choice. It's not like Atlanta had a great defense when he was there, but that's besides the point. Dak, number 7. Go to 8. This one was hard for me. At 8, I have Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, as far as football players, football athletes, one of the best in the league, if not the best in the league. At a quarterback, not top 5. Hard for me to put him in top 10, but I kind of have to because his name is Lamar Jackson. I think he's a really good runner of the football. As a passer, he's questionable, but I can't put that all on him yet because he hasn't had a wide receiver core. His number 1 target was Marquis Brown. Marquis Brown, not the best receiver, kind of a speed guy. He is a very fast speed guy. So this year, they signed Sammy Watkins, drafted Rashad Bateman. So that should help Lamar at least a little bit. Sammy Watkins, not Sammy Watkins hasn't earned that top 5 pick. Rashad Bateman, we'll see if he earns his first round selection. I'm hopeful that they don't. I'm hopeful the Ravens suck, but I want to see. I like watching good football, and if Lamar's someone who puts out good football, I'll watch it. Number 9, kind of weird. I got Ryan Tannehill. People don't give Ryan Tannehill enough credit. Everyone's like, Derrick Henry is so great at football, blah, blah, blah. Ryan Tannehill has been one of the best quarterbacks in the league for the past 2 years, and we don't talk about it. I know last year in the playoffs, Ryan Tannehill had like 18 pass attempts or completions or whatever. And that is 2019 playoffs, excuse me. But Ryan Tannehill is very good. He's not the main focal point of his offense, so his production isn't anything insane. But you got to figure he's had A.J. Brown and Corey Davis, and I think he had Adam Humphries, and not much else than that as far as receiving threats. So, he had Johnny Smith as well. So, kind of good. He's a pretty good tight end, but you got to figure Ryan Tannehill, he played for Adam Gase in Miami, and then he came to Tennessee, sat out for about half the season, came in, lit the place up. Ryan Tannehill, very good quarterback. I think he'll probably get back to the playoffs this year, especially if he's riding the back of Derrick Henry. We go to number 10. This one has a star beside it. It is the man, the myth, the legend, my boy Baker Mayfield. There is 100% a small amount of bias, but the only bias I have is what puts him from top 15 to top 10. Baker Mayfield in the last 7 games of last season played like a top 5 quarterback. I think PFF has him graded as the number 2 quarterback. In Cincinnati, he was 0-5 for an interception. He went on, I think, 22 of 23 for 4 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns, something like that. So, pretty good. And then he continued that. You go to Tennessee, he throws 4 touchdowns or 5 touchdowns, I don't remember. I think he threw 5 touchdowns in the Cincy game, 4 in the Tennessee game. Doesn't throw an interception again until week 14 of the Ravens, and then proceeds to not throw an interception until divisional against Kansas City. There was a 3-game span where he didn't throw a touchdown, but that was against the Raiders, the Texans, and the Eagles, and those were in awful weather conditions. Baker Mayfield brought his completion percentage up, touchdowns up, interceptions down massively. And people will say, blah, blah, it's Kevin Stefanski's system. I don't think people understand that is the job of a head coach. The job of the head coach is to make the game as easy as possible for the quarterback. We use the excuse that, they have a bad head coach, so we can't put that against them. But we can hold it against them when they have a good head coach. It just doesn't make sense. There's no continuity in that argument. Baker Mayfield, I need to see more consistency from him. Last year, I saw him make some of the most amazing tight window throws you'll see, and then I saw him miss Kareem Hunt on an angle route out of the backfield. I need to see more consistency out of him. He has Odell back this season, which should help. He has Anthony Schwartz added as a real speed guy. Everyone should be coming back healthy. He has a great offensive line. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, top 10 running backs in their own right. So Baker Mayfield should have a good season coming out of it. I kind of need to speed up. I'm already at 13 minutes. Running backs. Number 1, I already mentioned him, Nick Chubb. You thought I was going to say Derrick Henry. I will not say Derrick Henry. People talk about Derrick Henry because he had 2,000 yards and all this stuff, blah, 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 blah. I'm actually going to pull up something real quick. But Nick Chubb, I would say, is the best overall runner of the football in the league. He has absolutely insane vision. Let's see. I want his game-by-game stats. But anyways, I love Nick Chubb. I love watching Nick Chubb, an explosive runner. I think he leads the league in rushes of 20-plus yards. Let's see. Okay, I can't find his game-by-game stats. But Derrick Henry, I believe, did not average more than 4 yards a carry until week 4. And he did end up averaging 5.4 yards a carry, which is great. But if you go game by game, there's games where he's averaging like 3 yards, 4 yards, stuff like that. And then there's games where he's averaging 10 against Jacksonville and all these other teams. You know, you go to his game against the Browns, I think he had about 60 rushing yards until he was taken out of the game. So, Derrick Henry, very good running back, but there's not a lot of depth to his game. In Nick Chubb, there's not a crazy amount of depth to his game. But Derrick Henry is not nearly as elusive as Nick Chubb. And sure, Nick Chubb isn't the power back that he is, but Nick Chubb is still has the aspects of a power back, but the shiftiness of an elusive back. And so you combine that all together, and that's the best pure runner in the league. And I don't think Nick Chubb is the best overall running back in the league. I still think that's CMC for his receiving skills, but CMC was injured last year, so it's kind of hard to put him at number 1. I do have Derrick Henry number 2. Again, Derrick Henry, very good running back. Very good running back. But to say that he is better than Nick Chubb because of his increase of opportunity being the focal point of the offense, not only is he the focal point of the offense, but he doesn't split carries either. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt split carries. Nick Chubb splits carries and had a touchdown a game last season. He missed 4 games and got over 1,000 yards. To say that Derrick Henry is just leagues and leagues above Nick Chubb for his increased opportunity, I've actually done the math. If you take Nick Chubb's average and give him the ball the same amount of times as Derrick Henry got the ball, he would have more rushing yards. Like Derrick in the Titans offense, you have to feed Derrick Henry, you have to get A.J. Brown his touches, and then you would probably have to get Jonnu Smith a ball or 2, Corey Davis a ball or 2. But in the Browns offense, you got to get Nick Chubb going, Kareem Hunt, you have Odell, you have Jarvis, you have Rashad Higgins, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Austin Hooper, David Njoku, Harrison Bryant. You see what I'm saying? Like, Derrick Henry is just the Titans offense. Take Derrick Henry away, and they don't have that much of an offense. That's just my opinion, though. CMC, number 3, great running back, great receiving back. Very excited to see him come back this season. Real comeback player of the year candidate. Number 4, we have Alvin Kamara. Dude ran for 6 touchdowns in a game. I know the Vikings defense is bad, but 6 touchdowns? Come on. Great receiving threat out of the backfield. Kind of had a down year in 2019, but still good season. Alvin Kamara, probably one of the best fantasy football backs of this past season. Very good. We got Dalvin Cook at number 5. Love Dalvin Cook. For some reason, Madden dropped his rating when he didn't show up on Week 17 when his dad died. Don't know what that was about. Good for UEA, but I love Dalvin Cook. He's an okay receiving threat out of the backfield, but I love watching him run, especially in that Vikings zone run scheme. Aaron Jones. I love Aaron Jones. Got paid this offseason. Good for him. Very fun back to watch. Not the feature, or I would say he's the feature back, but I wouldn't say he's an all-down back. He's not the best coming out of the backfield. He's okay. He's pretty good coming out of the backfield, but he's just not the best in the world. We go down to Saquon Barkley at number 7. As far as talent goes, Saquon Barkley is top 3, if not number 1. But I haven't seen an elite season for him since his rookie year, and he's going into year 4. And I know he tore his ACL, he was playing through an injury, he has a bad offensive line, blah, blah, blah. Still, haven't seen it. I need to see it. I need to watch it. I need to watch him produce elitely, because he was injured, so he couldn't, but the best playability is availability. You know, he hasn't been available. You know, while he's hurt, I've seen Aaron Jones play, I've seen Dalvin Cook, I've seen Alvin Kamara, Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb. I've seen them all play. I've seen them all produce elite numbers. I haven't seen Saquon do it since his rookie year. After Saquon, number 8, we go Kareem Hunt. I mean, people seem to forget that he led the league in rushing his rookie year. Not only is he a great power back, he's shifty. I wish he could kind of become more of a 2-cut runner. Right now, he kind of cuts once, and, you know, I've heard arguments that he's not a power back. I wish he was kind of less of a power back. He kind of cuts once and then just keeps going. I want to see him kind of develop more as a 2-cut runner. Obviously great receiving threat out of the backfield. But Kareem Hunt at number 8. 9 and 10, I was kind of iffy. I put Jonathan Taylor and J.K. Dobbins. Liked what I saw of them out of the rookie year. Jonathan Taylor was incredibly good. Excited to see him again this year. J.K. Dobbins was kind of part of a 3-back set. Kind of got more touches as the year went on. I am very excited to see where he goes coming out of this season. We go to wide receivers. DeAndre Hopkins. Don't need to say anything else. Number 2, Davonte Adams. Very good. I like him as a route runner. I like his hands. He has Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback, which definitely does not hurt. Number 3, we go Tyree Kill. Real speed guy. But what I love about Tyree Kill is he's broken the stereotype of just being a speed guy. I always remember it was in the divisional round against the Browns. He was matched up against Denzel Ward. Denzel Ward is one of the faster corners in the league, probably a top 3 fast corner. And Tyree Kill was matched up against him, and he made an incredible catch. And I was always saying, you know why he had to make that incredible catch? Because he wasn't leagues ahead of Denzel Ward in speed. He's definitely faster, don't get me wrong. But he wasn't like 3 levels or 5 levels above him. He was probably only 1 or 2. After Tyree Kill, Stephon Diggs. Great freaking route runner. I love watching Stephon Diggs. Great hands. He was great for Buffalo, as I said earlier. I loved that he stayed out and watched the Chiefs' championship ceremony. You should be scared of Stephon Diggs next season. He had a breakout year, technically. Obviously, Minneapolis Miracle, can't take that away from him. Number 5, Julio Jones. Would be a lot higher on this list if not for injury. Love Julio. Freak athlete. Beast of a man. Super excited to see where he goes because he will get traded probably within the next week. Can't wait to do an episode about that. 6, slant boy himself, Michael Thomas. I'll joke about it. I don't think Michael Thomas only runs slants. I think Drew Brees had the arm of a 3-year-old and couldn't throw anything other than slants or crossers. I'm excited to see Michael Thomas, hopefully not with Taysom Hill, with Jameis Winston, so Jameis Winston can just freaking lob that thing. I just threw my pen. So we can just lob that thing down. After Michael Thomas, we go Chris Godwin. I think I have my whole list messed up. At 7, we have Keenan Allen. Very underrated receiver. Great route runner. I love watching him run routes. He's incredible. He has great hands. Definitely a top 10. I wish I could put him at a top 5, but I can't just because I feel like his route running is better than any other aspect, and as important as route running is, can't be the number one thing that determines a top 5 receiver. After Keenan Allen, we go to Justin Jefferson at number 9. Obviously, was very spectacular his rookie year, but I can't put him much higher than that just because, it was year 1. I saw 1 year of him. No one kind of knew what he was going to be coming out. I just need to see more from him, and then it'll be much higher on the list. I was very impressed with his rookie year, though. We go to number 10. That's where Chris Godwin is. I think Mike Evans is kind of overrated. But Chris Godwin is definitely kind of underrated because of Mike Evans being overrated. Chris Godwin, I love watching him play. Very physical receiver. I do like his routes. He's obviously not like the best ever, but 2019 was his real breakout year. Had a lot of yards. This year kind of dealt with some injury. I'm excited to see him back after that. That's it for receivers. Tight ends. So tight ends I have such a hard time with always. Because you have Travis Kelce and George Kittle as 1A, 1B. I have Kelce above Kittle for just a little bit. And then you have Darren Waller at 3 and Mark Andrews at 4. And then after that, you have no idea who's next. I have Noah Fant as next. I like Noah Fant a lot. I think he needs a real quarterback to play with, and then he'll be very good. And then I go Hunter Henry, and then Jonnu Smith back to back. Hunter Henry, very good. Jonnu Smith, very good. Excited to see them both on the Patriots. Great signings for them. Evan Ingram, yeah, he has brick hands sometimes, but he's still good. I understand that last season wasn't the best for him, but you can't make decisions off of one season for a guy. And plus tight end. You know what? I'm going to switch Evan Ingram and TJ Hawkinson, who is next. So TJ Hawkinson goes up to 7. 8. Evan Ingram goes down to 9. And then at number 10, we got Tim Tebow. Because I didn't know who else to put. I don't know if you guys saw that one clip. He was kind of slow, but like Tim Tebow's looking jacked. Super excited. I really hope. I can't wait. I'm definitely getting Tebow on my fantasy team, and he's going to start every week. I don't care whether he's third string tight end. I don't care if he doesn't make the team. If the Browns are able to sign Tim Tebow, that would be awesome. Tim Tebow is the guy. We all know it. Offensive line, I didn't do top 10 because it's offensive line. I personally love offensive line, but a lot of people don't. Number 1, I have the Browns. Best offensive line in the league. Jedrick Wills switching from right to left tackle in a COVID offseason with Bill Callahan. Expect him to do better this year. Left guard, you got the man, Joel Bitonio, all-pro guard, Pro Bowl guard, great man, J.C. Treader. Only offensive lineman to have 1,000 pass blocking snaps and allow 0 QB hits. Great center. Right guard, the beast Wyatt Teller. Wyatt Teller's International House of Pancakes. And then at right tackle, all-pro tackle Jack Conklin. Very good tackle. Good acquisition from the Titans. And then after that, we got Colts. I don't know everyone else as good as the Browns, sorry. Colts, I really like the Colts offensive line. Quentin Nelson, probably the best guard in football, depending on how you feel about Zach Martin and Wyatt Teller. Patriots have a very good offensive line. Very good offensive line. They got Trent Brown back. They have Michael Onwenu. They have David Andrews at center. They did lose Joe Thuney in free agency, but he signed a massive contract. No one wants that. Bucks, Ali Marpet, Tristan Wirfs. I forget the other guy's names. Is Richie Incognito? No, he's probably still on the Raiders. I like the Bucks offensive line a lot. Tristan Wirfs was great coming out, and I really hope that he does better this year. I think he only allowed 1 snap, so better would just be 0 sacks. And then we go to the Saints. Listen, Teron Armstead, Ryan Ramczyk, Andreas Pete is kind of but then you got the man, Will Clapp. If your name is Will Clapp, you are automatically the best guard. Will Clapp? I don't even think Will Clapp is on the team right now. I think he was a free agent. Oh no, 1 second. Will Clapp, football player. Will Clapp. Oh, yes. He's still on the Saints. He was a 7th round draft pick. 3'11" at 5'6". The man is a beast. Yeah, Will Clapp. You know what? Saints go to number 1 just for having Will Clapp. But anyways, those are my offensive positional rankings. I'll probably do defensive tomorrow. But yeah, comment down below if you agree or you disagree. I can't wait to get hate for putting Nick Chubb above Derrick Henry. Hey, at least I didn't put Odell or Jarvis in the top 10. I wanted to, but I didn't. And probably Baker Mayfield at 10 I'll get hate for. Noah Fant at 5 I'll get hate for. You know, Kareem Hunt at, 8? I'll probably get hate for. Saquon Barkley low. Sorry, Corbin. But yeah, those are the positional rankings. Let me know what you think. I spent probably a solid 5 minutes putting these together for you guys. So I obviously care a lot. I do care. I just know my opinions on these relatively well. I will see you guys tomorrow, hopefully. Again, like, subscribe, check back tomorrow. Oh, wait, punch the bell. You can't just say ring the bell anymore. You have to say punch it. Demolish the subscribe button. Annihilate the like button. And explode the bell button. That makes sense. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Peace.